There were a million ways Jenny Marquez imagined her own kidnapping. Most involved hostile coupons, or at worst, a deranged customer with a frozen turkey. None of them involved a human slip-and-slide shoving through the automatic doors, tracking enough rainwater to irrigate an Everglades restoration project. He came in hot. Literally. His cheeks glowed like he'd mainlined habanero. A battered dice cup was clutched to his chest as if it contained a still-beating heart. The rest screamed frat boy's regrettable vacation. A yellowed Hawaiian shirt stuck to his torso in see-through patches. Cargo shorts so soggy they glistened, and hair. God, that hair. Wild and stringy, plastered to his scalp in damp loops. Jenny clocked it all in the time it took the backup generator to decide whether to cooperate. Lightning blasted outside, turning the parking lot into a ghost story. The lights stuttered, plunging everyone. What was left of the night crew, a few customers who probably now wished they had checked out just minutes earlier, and Jenny, into heavy, static-charged dark. The only sound was the shudder of rain on the roof and the wet slap of the new arrival's flip-flops. When power returned, so did chaos. Dice Cup Guy, the roller, she mentally rebranded him, since this was Florida and everyone deserved a nickname, moved fast for someone who looked like a cross between a coyote and a life coach. He beelined past the registers, hip-checking a stack of BOGO seltzer, and started shouting.
"Nobody move. If you don't want to get hurt, don't test me."
His voice hit the high, unsteady pitch of a man who learned English solely from mid-90s action movies. For the first 2 seconds, nobody reacted. In Jenny's experience, it took people a moment to process violence in a grocery store. Then all hell broke loose. The older guy in the scooter floored it, veering left toward the candy aisle. But the roller had anticipated this and blocked the path with a shopping cart. The collision made a sound like bowling pins. The scooter spun out, depositing the cheeseball king unceremoniously onto the linoleum. He landed with a solid thunk, but the roller didn't give him a second look. The 2 other customers, a spring break reject in neon board shorts and a retiree who probably had a timeshare for every month of the year, backed up, arms half raised. The retiree's purse hit the ground, and the roller kicked it away, barking, "Everyone to the deli, now!" Jenny blinked, frozen mid-bite at register 3. Her sandwich felt heavier in her hand, the wax paper already going limp from her sweat. For a moment she considered whether she could eat it in the time it would take the roller to notice her. She glanced down. Blue vest, upside-down name tag, slow-motion turkey sub. The universe really had it out for her. At least she'd worn sneakers. The roller's gaze locked onto her.
"You, employee, move."
Jenny moved. She considered for a heartbeat, hurling her sandwich like a grenade. But Roy was already next to her, shaking, mouthing something that looked suspiciously like, "I told you so." The roller herded them to the open space between the deli and the bakery, where the night's leftover chicken salad congealed under heat lamps. He grabbed a second cart and, with a wrestler's flourish, upended it across the entrance, forming an impromptu barricade. The glass doors behind it glimmered with fresh rain. Scanning her new cohort, Jenny realized she recognized them all, not by name, God forbid, but by archetype. First, Roy Daniels, bag boy turned mop lord turned, apparently, her emotional support animal. He vibrated with the kind of nervous energy reserved for true believers, UFOs, cryptids, the inevitable return of Blockbuster. Even now he had his phone out and was frantically swiping through screens. Next, Chaz, the aforementioned spring breaker, who wore a tank top that read, "Absolutely." He held his phone at arm's length, live streaming the entire ordeal with the stoic dedication of a true influencer. The only time he lowered his phone was to run fingers through his sun-bleached hair, or adjust the tiny ring light clipped to his pop socket. Ms. Edna Brewster, the retiree, clutched her purse in one hand and a clipboard in the other. She stared at the roller with the icy resolve of someone who'd once testified in a zoning board hearing, and won. Her eyes never blinked. Then there was the kid. Jenny remembered his name. Kind of. Ethan? No. Eddie. He was nice. Always said, please, and thank you when he bought his after-school snack. He was a patron Jenny actually didn't mind seeing in her line. But he didn't look so good now. His face had gone gray and pinched, the thin line of his mouth vibrating with each exhale. But his eyes, big, dark, and too old for his 14 years. Someone was missing. Not the cheeseball king, who was still groaning theatrically at the base of the overturned cart, nor the retiree or Chaz. Jenny scanned the perimeter and realized with a jolt the teacher hadn't made it to the huddle. She did a subtle head count. 4 customers, no, 3, and Roy, and herself. But the teacher, Miss Kim, was AWOL. Ms. Angela Kim, 4th grade teacher at Lakeview Elementary, regular Tuesday evening shopper, and the only person in town who'd ever spelled Jenny's name right on a coffee cup. Jenny respected her from a distance. She always bought the same sad salad kit and off-brand kombucha, paid in exact change, and never, ever caused a scene. Ms. Kim was the ghost of aisle 12, present but never intrusive, always in the process of fading out of sight. That made her absence all the more suspicious. Jenny risked a sideways glance across the open floor. The produce section was abandoned, save for a single rolling apple. There, by the end cap of the vegan cheese, a pair of sensible shoes peeking out behind a display of gluten-free crackers. Ms. Kim's eyes caught hers, wide, unblinking, but she didn't move, not out of panic, but calculation. She's casing the exits, Jenny realized, or coiled, waiting for the right moment to bolt. The teacher was always grading, always reading the room. Jenny willed her to stay put, sensing that the roller was more interested in the group and less likely to notice one missing head count, if they didn't draw attention to it. All at once, Jenny felt an unexpected flicker of hope. Maybe with Ms. Kim on the outside, they had a shot at someone calling the cops, or at least negotiating while the rest of them played along. Or maybe, more realistically, the teacher was just hoping to outlast the chaos without getting involved. Her musings were cut short by the arrival of the last customer, an unremarkable guy in a faded t-shirt and khakis, holding nothing but a single banana, who slipped in among them with practiced invisibility. The roller vaulted onto the deli counter, scattering a pyramid of potato salad containers. One split open, leaking yellow goo across the formica. He didn't seem to care. He raised the dice cup aloft.
Ladies and gentlemen, shoppers of fate.
He boomed, his voice hitting the drop ceiling and ricocheting off the tile floor.
Tonight is your lucky night. The prophecy has chosen.
He stopped, staring at his audience with naked contempt.
The prophecy has chosen you.
Silence. Even the storm seemed to pause, waiting to see how this played out. Chaz turned the ring light up a notch, backlighting his own jawline. Ms. Brewster scribbled something onto her clipboard, lips pressed tight. Roy had started trembling so hard Jenny could hear his keys rattling in his pocket. The roller slid down from the counter, landing with unsettling grace. He turned the dice cup in his hands, caressing it like a beloved pet.
I will be clear,
he said, pacing in front of his hostages.
Nobody is leaving, not until the cup says so. Anyone tries, anyone resists, there will be consequences.
He didn't elaborate. He didn't have to. Something about the way he said cup made Jenny's arms prickle. He jabbed the cup toward Jenny.
You, employee, what's your name?
Jenny considered lying, then remembered her name tag.
Jenny.
He smiled, but it wasn't friendly.
You look smart. You know what this is about?
Jenny's mind scrambled for anything. Anything that would placate a man like this.
Corporate wants us to upsell.
It almost worked. The roller's lips curled.
No, this isn't about your pitiful wages or your dead-eyed loyalty to the man.
He pointed at the ceiling.
It's about the universe and the rules that keep it from collapsing.
Roy whispered.
I fucking called it.
The roller took a deep, wet breath.
We will wait. When the time is right, the cup will reveal who deserves to leave. Until then, you'll play by my rules. No phone calls, no heroics, and definitely,
He glared at Roy.
no posts.
Chaz immediately began typing a new caption.
Hashtag hostage life.
Jenny wondered if he'd even noticed they were in real danger. Roy raised his hand, as if in class.
Can I at least?
No, sit.
The roller said. They sat. Ms. Brewster had already begun assembling the chairs from the beach items display into a tidy semicircle. She directed the others with clipped efficiency, then stationed herself at the end, clipboard poised. The man with the banana whispered into a mic hidden on his collar.
Day 1. The standoff begins.
Jenny, sandwich still in hand, met Roy's eyes. He mouthed, "You okay?" She nodded, not trusting herself to speak. The roller loomed over them all. Lord of the lunch meats, king of the wet floor,
I'll know if you try anything.
he said.
The cup always knows.
He retreated to the other side of the deli, muttering under his breath and rolling the dice in the cup. It made a rattling sound that Jenny swore she could feel in her teeth. Chaz, still filming, did a slow pan of the group.
Everyone say hi to my followers.
He said, voice oddly steady. Ms. Brewster sneered.
Don't encourage him.
The banana guy cleared his throat.
If you're going to kill us, can I request a statement from my podcast?
A beat.
Or like a manifesto?
The roller ignored him. He stared at the entrance, eyes unblinking, as if waiting for something else to come through. Jenny looked down at her sandwich, at her blue vest, at her own name, upside down. She'd been right after all. The universe was counting down, and, as usual, she was trapped somewhere between the deli and oblivion. Thunder rolled. The lights flickered. The dice rattled on. It was going to be a long night. The roller began his sermon from the highest peak in the land, the apex of the cold cuts display. He stalked the greasy surface like a panther nursing a hangover, bare feet leaving damp prints in the artfully arranged lettuce garnish. Every gesture with the dice cup was grandiose, somewhere between game show host and street preacher. And it was obvious, even before he opened his mouth, that this was a man who had rehearsed for an audience since puberty and had never once received a standing ovation.
Listen well, because I won't repeat myself.
He bellowed. The dice cup thunked against his thigh, a metronome for his mania.
This is not a robbery. This is not even about you.
A beat.
This is about fate, the universe, destiny.
Jenny felt her brain start to slough from his voice alone, but she refused to give him the satisfaction of visible discomfort. The roller's eyes swept the huddle of captives, lingering on the phones, the clipboards, the nervous faces, before zeroing in on Jenny.
I can see you're confused. That's good. Confusion is the path to revelation.
Behind Jenny, Roy hissed.
That's what an Illuminati guy would say before locking us in the storage shed.
The roller didn't even pause.
We are here to play a game. A game older than time, older than the pyramids. Older than that time, they found the giant squid in the Taco Bell parking lot. Remember?
He paused for effect.
Yahtzee.
Nobody laughed, except for Chaz, who did a slow zoom on his face and whispered.
God, this content is fire.
Jenny coughed, nearly snorting turkey onto her lap.
It's a metaphor.
The roller continued, as if someone had asked.
Every roll of the dice shapes the future. Every combination, every outcome is preordained. But once in a generation,
He held the dice cup above his head.
someone, somewhere, rolls the perfect set. 5 sixes. The cosmic Yahtzee. When that happens, the veil lifts. The gates open. The chosen pass through.
A pause.
And the rest.
He trailed off, eyes bugging.
The rest aren't so lucky.
He waited, as if applause were imminent. Instead, Miss Edna raised her hand.
Is this a cult thing?
She asked.
Or are you just off your meds?
The roller grinned, all teeth and trauma.
Oh, there's no medication that can fix what the cup reveals.
Edna muttered something about crazy people and this Friendly Mart, and began rearranging the chairs, making sure everyone was spaced exactly 3 feet apart.
These are now violation zones.
She declared.
No crossing lines unless you want a citation.
Roy's phone vibrated, and he risked a glance.
My live feed's dead. He's jamming us, Jenny.
Jenny looked up at the ceiling, as if asking for a rogue asteroid to end this.
Of course, this is happening at the end of my shift.
She said. Eddie's gaze darted from Jenny to the roller to the dice cup. There was calculation in his eyes, a faint shimmer of anticipation, as if he were running through possible outcomes the way most people idly imagined winning the lottery. The roller's pace picked up. He spun in place, arms out.
You think this is all coincidence? That the storm, the blackout, my arrival, all just bad luck?
Terry, the produce guy, was hunched over his phone, whispering into the mic.
Day 1, Hour 2, our captor claims supernatural forces are at work. Belief system chaotic, but internally consistent. Unclear if drugs are involved.
He glanced up.
Sir, are drugs involved?
No questions from the peanut gallery.
The roller snapped. A low, rumbling sound filled the store. At first, Jenny thought it was thunder again, but it didn't fade or crash. It just droned, like a distant bowling alley. The store's PA system, which usually belched out elevator music and weather alerts, had joined the performance. The roller pointed to the ceiling.
Hear that? The cup calls to all of us, whether we want to listen or not.
Chaz was still filming. He licked his lips, leaned into his ring light, and said,
Hostage situation, but make it slay.
Then, to the camera,
Remember, it's all about setting powder when the humidity hits. You don't want to look like a glazed ham in your police interview.
Ms. Edna, incensed by the lack of order, started ticking names off her clipboard.
If we survive,
She said,
I'm writing the governor. No disaster plan accounts for this level of lunacy.
The roller thudded the dice cup against his palm.
Who's ready for a practice round?
Jenny wanted to say no. She wanted to say, just let me eat my sandwich in peace. But instead, she bit the inside of her cheek and stared at the man.
What's the point?
She asked.
You make us roll dice. What happens if someone wins?
The roller stopped dead. He looked almost vulnerable, for the first time since he'd arrived.
If someone wins,
He said,
paradise opens. The cycle ends. I get my...
He hesitated. A single muscle twitched in his neck.
I get my reward.
Yeah, but
Chaz said, not breaking his stare at his own phone.
What if we all lose?
Then the next cycle begins,
said the roller.
and we do it again until someone gets it right.
Jenny checked the faces around her. Roy was nearly vibrating. Edna looked ready to file a class action. Eddie looked like he was doing calculations. Chaz was probably counting likes. And Terry was already workshopping episode titles for his recap. None of them, she realized, were planning to try and be a hero. The roller hopped off the deli counter and clapped his hands.
Circle up, people. We begin in 5.
He stalked around the perimeter, moving the cart so the exits were double blocked. He arranged the group with all the care of a wedding planner, then took his own seat at the head of the circle. He set the dice cup on the table, hands on either side, like it might try to escape. The humming sound in the PA system got louder, then it glitched. The usual clean up in aisle 5 became yee, yay, Yahtzee in aisle 5. Jenny's phone, buried in her apron, buzzed with a new notification. Just one word. Yahtzee. Repeated 50 times. Sent from an address she didn't recognize. Edna put down her clipboard and stared at the dice.
You know,
She said.
when I pictured dying, it was from heart disease or maybe a sinkhole. Not this.
Roy leaned in.
Jenny, you ever see a cult up close? This is Jonestown textbook.
She whispered back.
If he tries to hand out flavor aid, we bail.
The roller cleared his throat, commanding the room.
Now we begin. Each of you in turn will roll the cup. The first to achieve 5 of a kind, any number doesn't matter, is the chosen. The rest,
A beat.
well, you'll see.
He thrust the cup at Edna. She accepted it with the blank-faced loathing of someone handed a highly suspicious casserole. Edna upended the cup. 5 dice clattered. 2, 2, 3, 5, 6. She glared at the roller.
Satisfied.
He grinned.
First round's always a warm-up.
He gestured at Chaz. Chaz shifted the camera to focus on the dice, then rolled.
Let's go, baby.
He whispered. 1, 1, 4, 5, 6. The roller, keeping meticulous score, marked the results. He looked at Terry. Eddie gave the cup a careful flip. 6, 2, 2, 1, 5. Terry, still narrating into his phone, rolled. 2, 3, 3, 5, 5. Roy's turn.
I got this.
He muttered. He rolled with flair. 3, 3, 4, 6, 6. Finally, the cup landed in front of Jenny. She looked at it. She looked at her sandwich. She looked at the roller, who gave her a nod. Jenny rolled. 1, 2, 4, 4, 6. The roller clapped once, a sharp report too loud for the intimate circle.
See?
He said.
The universe aligns. Not perfect, but close. Every cycle, the patterns tighten.
He collected the dice, reset the cup.
Again.
Thunder crashed. The lights flickered, casting everyone in alternating orange and black. The hum from the speakers changed. It sounded less like bowling, and more like 1,000 dice rattling in 1,000,000 cups, rolling endlessly toward oblivion. Jenny exhaled. She was tired. She was hungry. And she was, for the first time, genuinely afraid. But mostly, she was annoyed. She looked at the group, at the maniac running the show, and wondered if the universe really did want her to play this game. Would it at least let her finish her sandwich first? She doubted it, but she rolled anyway. Jenny flicked her eyes toward the watermelons. A shaky thumbs up appeared between the rinds. Jenny breathed easier. Someone had alerted the authorities. Outside, the rain kept falling.